Because the time's
Woke up this morning thinking about
Those summer days.
best friend got caught up when I stayed in Douglasville. Doing stuff by myself. I'm a
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. So today, how the game sabotaged his rap career. I'm curious about this. I never knew he did. I thought he always had a rap career and it was always popping. Just saying. You've been on songs with Kendrick. Shoot, you been on a song with Kanye. Kanye helped him with beats back in the day. With that one song, I forgot how it goes, but...
This video is brought to you by Manscaped.com.
Yep, wrong thing. Let me actually... That's my bad, everyone. Let's get into it.
The global brand for men's grooming and hygiene products.
Game, you don't have to do this. Let me be the first to tell you that the rapper that I think you are, with the catalog that I think you have built, with the hits that you have, with the longevity that you have, with the crew that you have from the coast that you rep. A lot of poppin' MCs. I argue Nipsey had one of the best albums last year. There's Kendrick. I don't need to go through all these.
J-Rock too.
It's a million of these. Problem had a great album. And when I got my brain into that, the more I got my brain into that is the more that I felt sorry for Game. Unfortunately today, real good MCs have to do like that. Because real good MCing ain't really getting it done. And I never thought about how ice cold Game was. Until.
For years now, the game's scandals and feuds have outshined his talent, which is saying a lot because the game has a lot of talent. Unfortunately, the more the game keeps instigating pointless feuds, racking up increasingly serious legal problems, and acting borderline sociopathic, the harder it is for fans to focus on or even remember how talented he is as an artist. The Game was one of the greatest and arguably most underrated MCs of his generation. His debut album, The Documentary, is a certified classic and one of the quintessential rap albums of the 2000s. But the Game's behavior and career trajectory have basically turned him into a walking and talking case study of what happens when you're your own worst enemy. His name dropping has left him no one to defend him, and his alleged criminal behavior has robbed him of his royalties. The Game seems to have backed himself into a corner. So what happened? The Game, residing from Compton, rose to mainstream prominence in the early 2000s. He had a natural talent that propelled him to the top at a dizzying rate, deciding to become a rapper in 2001 and already having every major label fighting to sign him in 2003. He signed with Dr. Dre in Aftermath and joined G-Unit, with the label hoping that the Game and 50 Cent could capitalize off of each other's buzz and create more momentum. In 2005, he dropped The Documentary, which went double platinum. It had the radio smashes How We Do, Hate It or Love It, and Dreams. The whole project was fire. No filler, just excellence from back to front. Dr. Dre and 50 Cent served as executive producers on the record. For a window of time, it looked like the sky was the limit for the Game. But very quickly after the release of The Documentary, tensions between the Game and 50 Cent were quickly bubbling up. 50 expressed that he felt like the Game was disloyal for staying neutral in his beefs with Fat Joe and Jadakiss, and also claimed that he wasn't getting the proper credit for the creation of the documentary and that he wrote a large chunk of the songs, a claim that the Game denied. The Game was pushed out of G-Unit in 2005, and it was not an amicable breakup. During a physical dispute between the two rappers' entourages at the Hot 97 studio in New York, a member of the Game's crew was shot in the leg. 50 Cent and the Game eventually had a press conference to announce their reconciliation, but the peace treaty was short-lived as the Game and G-Unit continued to diss each other in the press and at concerts. The Game went all out and soon released 300 Bars and Running, a scathing 15-minute diss track against G-Unit. It's one of the best diss tracks in rap history, and honestly, it's as brutal as a diss can get. The Game rides multiple iconic beats with an ease that feels aggressive and smooth at the same time. The beef continued for years and produced over 100 songs in total. Yes, you heard that right. Over 100 songs. The amount of ink and hard work that went into that beef from both sides, especially the Game, is staggering and impressive in itself. This speaks to the Game's habit of, for better or worse, never letting up or knowing when to say when. When the Game is in a feud, he goes all out. This beef that seemed to last ages was our first example of the Game's habit of creating chaos wherever he goes, and it seems like the chaos eventually caught up with him throughout the years. The Game's taste for conflict continued to grow in 2006 when he generated headlines for getting into a brawl with Raz Kaz at a Los Angeles nightclub.
I looked in his face, asked him about 3 questions, he said something wrong, and I knocked his out. He said 30 jumped him. It wasn't even 30 people with me. Yeah. First of all, it was an industry party. You can't get 30 from Compton in there.
All right, so 2022 looking brighter than last year already. It's likely that a lot of you will be looking to get out there and enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
and with 85% of women feeling as though it's our duty to keep things trimmed in the downstairs department, it'd be wise to stack the odds in your favor by doing exactly that. But rather than risking life, limb, and private parts by using scissors or some sort of shaver that was never intended to be used in that way, Manscaped has provided you with the tools that are specifically designed for the job. Since launching in 2016, Manscaped have been revolutionizing male grooming, and it's no wonder that they become a worldwide phenomenon, making the process of hair removal in the downstairs department a whole lot easier and more hygienic for men and women alike. Nowadays, more men than ever like to take care of themselves with Manscaped's Perfect Package 3.0. A one-stop shop for all things below the waist, the special kit features the acclaimed lawnmower trimmer, which is not only waterproof but features skin-safe technology as well, and an LED light for closer inspection, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Toning Spray, and last but not least, the Magic Mat Shaving Catcher. In essence, it has everything you need to ensure that you're feeling and looking fresh for the year ahead. And if that wasn't enough, if you order now, you'll receive 2 free gifts, not to mention free shipping and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're looking to upgrade your grooming game, then use the code HipHopMadness at checkout for 20% off at manscaped.com.
Hey, yo, Manscaped,
Hip
reach
Hop
out
Madness
to me.
for 20%
Reach out
off.
to me.
All right, let's get back to the video. In 2005, The Game was accused of trying to rope Jay-Z into a beef with a subliminal bar on his track West Side Story, where he rapped, "I don't do button-up shirts or drive Maybachs," but he specified that he was talking about Ja Rule and would never take a shot at a legend. Jay never outwardly responded, but fired back with other potential subliminals by using the word game multiple times in his Hot 97 freestyle. But The Game cranked things up to 11 when he dissed Hove on stage at a concert.
JC.
He would continue to take shots at Jay for years. Jay only responded once the whole time, with one brief bar at a concert in 2009.
I ain't talking about profit, I'm talking about pain. I'm talking about despair, I'm talking about shame. I ain't talking about gossip, I ain't talking about game. I ain't talking about Jimmy, I ain't talking about Dame.
The fact that The Game continued to diss Jay for years to the sound of crickets may have been a bad look, coming off like he isn't dissing him in anger or in the spirit of competition, but strictly fishing for attention. Honestly, to go through every detail of every beef The Game has had would require its own video. He's had beefs with Chris Brown, Lil Eazy-E, Suge Knight, Shine, Stitches, Exhibit, and Lil B, just to name a few. Throughout the years, The Game has become the unofficial king of name dropping, even winking at it in Bigger Than Me, a random diss track he dropped against the entire 2014 XXL freshman class. Speaking of time, how much to The Game drop? You can ask my and Complex can count my name drops. In 2018, DJ Booth even counted The Game's name drops and confirmed his reputation as mathematically accurate. And while beef is far from new in the hip-hop world and plenty of MCs have engaged in just as many feuds as The Game, the fallout from The Game's feuds seemed to have taken a toll on his career after a while. After all, who's left to lend you a hand when you f***ed off everybody? Being the king of name dropping has its downsides after over a decade of doing it. In 2014, The Game unnecessarily inserted himself into a Tyga and Lil Durk beef, assisting Tyga, a move that was mostly met with apathetic eye rolls. In a DJ Vlad interview, Charlamagne the God questioned why The Game felt Tyga needed his help and said The Game was too grown to still be beefing the way he does.
Oh, God. But I don't understand why Game jumped in it. I don't even understand the affiliation between Game and Tyga other than being from Cali. But that's not even a beef that Game had to handle for Tyga. I expect that from the late teens, early 20-year-olds. I don't expect that. I don't know how old Compton Menace is, but I don't expect that from Game at this point, man. 50 don't even really do that no more. 50 was the king of that.
Yeah.
In 2015, The Game inserted himself in another beef between Lil Wayne and Young Thug, siding with Wayne and taking shots at Thugger on stage. After that, the feud primarily unfolded through social media, starting with Young Thug posting a picture of The Game's daughter, then The Game posting a picture of Thugger's daughter. The two rappers went back and forth through videos they posted online.
See, you used to be a Crip, now you're a Blood. So I don't want no smoke with you. You got Bloods and Crips on your team. And you was a male stripper once before, so I don't want to fight you.
What?
I don't want no germs from you. And you
I didn't
Steven,
know that.
did you know
TurboTax
TurboTax is free no matter how you want to file?
That's new. That's new.
I just seen your little video. You paint your nails like a girl. You call your bae, and you keep around. Gonna drive by that nail shop and light that up.
The beef eventually ended. The Game's beefs were becoming increasingly corny and petty, and like blatant attempts to gain clout and stay in the conversation by any means necessary. And the beef he had with Meek Mill, similar to his G-Unit beef, is so long, complicated, occasionally convoluted, and has so many side characters it could damn near be a novel. But to give a tiny handful of highlights, Game called out Meek on stage.
I just want to beat that one good time, hand up. Just, when you see me, square up.
He then called Meek a snitch on his track 92 Bars. The cause of the beef was revealed to be an incident involving Sean Kingston. Big Meech, Drake, O'Malley, Beanie Siegel, and Chino also jumped in at one point. If you're confused, so am I. To give the play-by-play of the whole beef would make this video an hour long. It'd be like the Infinity War of rap beef. The late Nipsey Hussle chimed in and said that the Game and Meek were practicing bad leadership and they should squash their beef. The feud eventually fizzled. The Game's beefs tend to get especially personal, typically using the rapper's wives or girlfriends as a prop against them. While this isn't new in hip-hop beef, the way the Game does it takes it to an extent that starts to feel increasingly obsessive and perverse. In fact, a lot of the Game's comments towards women have been characterized as immature, disrespectful, and flat-out corny. He has a history of name-dropping his partners, unprompted, much to the eye-rolling dismay of pretty much everyone. In 2021, the Game went on Clubhouse and gave a long list of famous women he said he's had sex with. A list that included Kim Kardashian and Stacey Dash, among many others. Even if he isn't lying, the Game is 42 years old, and this is the kind of behavior you expect from a 19-year-old frat boy. Yeah. This isn't the first time that the Game bragged about allegedly being with the Kardashians. In his 2016 track Sauce, he claimed he slept with 3 Kardashians. And in 2019, in the same track where he rapped about Budden's fiance, he also spits, "I held Kim Kardashian by the at her." The Game's desperate graphic boasts about his escapades earned universal groans from hip-hop fans, behavior that comes off more as childish than it does cool or tough. It's like the former star quarterback of high school bragging about being with the prom queen years after everyone else has graduated and stopped caring. The Game's attitude about women have also attracted negative attention with cheesy social media posts about men being providers and Instagram posts defending Bill. During his beef with Meek Mill, when dissing him in 92 Bars, he also name-dropped Nicki Minaj, Meek's girlfriend at the time, rapping, "I've been wanting to give Nicki this pull stick." The same track includes a bar alleging that he had relations with Blac Chyna as well. That same year, he also went on a drunk Instagram rant, which he soon deleted, bragging about being with Kalani. In early 2019, at a listening party, the Game played a song with lyrics alleging that he had sex with Sin Santana, Joe Budden's fiance, before she met Budden. He soon elaborated on this Instagram story, falsely claiming that Budden was trying to sue him and saying, "At Joe Budden, you can't sue nobody for discovering before you." Not only does it feel desperate to brag to Budden about doing things with his fiance, even the act of bragging about it through an Instagram story feels like the behavior of a teenager. Even Freddie Gibbs called the Game corny on Twitter for being a full-grown adult trying to use sexual history as a bragging right. Throughout the Game's career, he has had a long list of legal battles and expensive lawsuits, from a 2005 lawsuit alleging he to a fan, another case from 2005 of disorderly conduct, weapons charges in 2007, and a battery misdemeanor in 2017. One of his more publicized legal battles was when the Game filmed himself beating up a fellow West Coast rapper, 40 Glock, who eventually filed and won a lawsuit against him for the physical altercation. The Game's history of creating chaos continued to catch up with him throughout the 2010s, which we'll get back to in a moment. But in 2016, the Game's penchant for chaotic legal troubles and demeaning attitudes towards women combined into a lawsuit that has ultimately hurt his reputation and pocket more than anything else. In 2016, Priscilla Rainey, a contestant on the Game's VH1 reality dating show She's Got Game, accused the Game of her. The lawsuit alleged that Rainey thought a date she went on with the Game was going to be on camera, yet no production crew showed up, and that the Game was highly intoxicated on alcohol and drugs, which was typical, and the plaintiff on several occasions that night. The Game failed to appear in court and the judge accused him of never taking the litigation seriously. In 2019, the Game was ultimately ordered to pay her $7 million. Game responded in an Instagram post denying the allegations and calling her a thirsty Gatorade mascot of a and he will never pay her a dime. Game then unsuccessfully filed a $20 million lawsuit against Viacom for not running a background check before casting her on She's Got Game. Due to the Game's failure to pay her, Rainey filed a motion requesting seizure of the Game's income. In 2020, Rainey was granted full ownership of the Game's independent record label, Prolific Records, as well as 100% of the royalties from his 2019 album, Born to Rap. Basically, any money the Game made was now going to her. While the lawsuit gained attention and headlines, it didn't prompt a massive cultural debate about separating the art from the artist when it comes to the Game. If Drake or Kanye West faced similar allegations, endless arguments and think pieces would plaster pop culture all year debating on if we can still enjoy their music. But the Game just isn't in the conversation enough to warrant such a debate. It's a shame because the Game is one of the best rappers of his generation, and every album he's released since the documentary has still been great, especially 2019's Born to Rap. But the Game has become his own worst enemy, and it seems like his behavior has finally caught up to him in a way that he can't avoid. The game is still releasing music and taking jabs at renewed relevancy, mostly unsuccessfully. In August 2021, he released the single Worldwide Summer Vacation, a record that sounds like nothing he's ever made, and not in a good way. The typically ultra-lyrical, aggressive, and sharp game croons as an awkward summer anthem in a flat, sing-songish flow meant to fit in with the times. The game never sounds or looks comfortable, almost feeling like a real-life version of that 30 Rock meme, "How do you do, fellow kids?" And judging by some of the YouTube comments, fans seem to be mourning who the game used to be 15 years ago, with confused comments wondering what happened to him. The game seems to be flailing.
I think it's the drugs and stuff, but personally, I feel like he needs to take personal accountability for his actions. Doing all this wasn't necessary. After like 2010, he should just only stop with all the beefing, made amends to all the people he wronged, and start growing something. Because you're 40 now, 40 something, and you still doing. Look at Hove. Look at all the rappers from your generation. They don't make music like that. They do, but it's like here and there. You might be the same way. I don't know. I don't keep up with the game, to be honest with you. But if he's still dropping singles, you know how they say rap is a young person game? When I see older people do it, I'm like, ooh, why are you doing it? Like, I get if you, like, you know, been wanting to do it and you just, you know, chase your dreams. Hey, your dreams, chase your dreams. But after a while, the rap stuff's supposed to open up doors for better and bigger. You know what I'm saying? New, better, bigger, crazier money. If you still trying to rap to make money, that you moving backwards at the age of 40. Man, I feel for the game, but I can't feel sorry for him because you're a grown man. Acting like a kid still. No disrespect. I just wish it was different, to be honest with you. That being said, be sure to like, subscribe. I hope the game, you know, pay the one girl back and start making money, start generating his money. Or if you do have money saved up, you know, just pay her back right quick and build your thing. Build your legacy. Because music is one legacy. You know, build a bigger foundation. You know, you might have been building a bigger foundation, but build something where someone from Atlanta will see, like, oh shit, y'all heard about the game stuff out in LA? That'd be crazy. I'm just saying. Be sure to like, subscribe. What's your favorite game song or favorite album from them? Let me know in the comments below. Game man, I just hope you do better, bro. Peace.
Mario the poet.